Good evening, good evening. Hold on a second and make a. Hold on a second. Let's get started. It's a pleasure. Welcome. It's a pleasure to be before you again with another topic of discussion. I call it messy talk. Messy talk. Talk about in a situation, confused, difficult, a set of circumstances about oneself. As I begin this series, episode, I decide to pique your interest. I remember during my days of dating, talking to different women, I was only winging it, thinking I knew what I knew, didn't know much, going by what I thought might work. Not expressing myself in the way I should express myself. We as a group of people, black and white, of any age or any race, need to understand, that in order to have a good relationship, we must learn how to communicate. The things I have shared over the months of posting live Facebook topics, I learned a lot about myself. I learned that in order to help oneself, one must first admit that they have an issue, they have a problem. I'll be the first to say, a man can learn from a woman. They may think they cannot. They may feel they're supreme or proud, too proud to learn anything, but they can. They must submit to the teaching as long as they don't give up their manhood. As I would say, no man wants to date a woman who behaves like a man. I have talked to females of different races who have expressed their opinion. Surprisingly or not, I was surprised and shocked that they agreed with me. There are many men and women out there that agree with what I'm saying, but they're not going to speak up. They're not going to type in the comment window. They're not going to share their thoughts because they don't want other people to know that they agree with me. In the chat session, I did put my email. If you have any questions, have any comment, or want a topic of discussion, feel free to do so. And I learned this from a young lady who said to me, first time I ever heard the term messy females, and I asked her to explain what does she mean by that. And she told me that when two females can be friends, if they fall out of friendship, or if it's over a boyfriend or over something, they can be very messy when it comes to this conversation. They can curse you out, insult you, be very revengeful, hatred. I can even know that females, they may get you back revengeful by dating your boyfriend or breaking up your boyfriend or spreading rumors or calling other women to say nasty things about you. And don't let it be that you are a light-skinned female. They're going to even use your race against you. That, oh, she's not black because she's a light-skinned sister or he's a light-skinned brother. So females and even males can be messy in the form of their conversation, the things that they say to one another, the hurtful things to hurt one another. We as individuals must begin to realize that we must effectively communicate in a relationship when it comes to discussing ourselves. And I'll give you a scenario. A young man and a young woman say they love each other. But what is love? What is love? Is love defined by sex first, and then you say you love that person? What is true love? Your relationship can be very messy if you rely on how good they are in bed. I recall my days of dating. I'm not married, I'm not dating anyone. When a woman would tell me that I have to see how you put out, meaning sexually. I cannot date, I cannot marry you unless I see how you perform in bed. And I thought about in my old days, I didn't care about that. But as I got older, I realized that I was making foolish mistakes. Love, the foundation of love, is not based on sex. Sex is not based on love. If you get married to a young man or a young woman, your relationship should not be driven by how good they perform in bed. That's very messy, because when you marry that person, if they do not put out, as you call put out, are you going to divorce them because they cannot have sex? Are they not performing anymore? Think about it. A relationship should be based on true love. True love does not count the wrongs. True love does not make excuse. True love does not pay you back or be vengeful or be hurtful. True love is not governed by how someone performed in bed. We got it all wrong. Oh, I love that person. Love is defined on what? If you are defining you love that person based on how they make you feel, then you have a problem, because if that person is not making you feel a certain way that day, then your relationship is going to be very messy, because you're going to be looking for them to behave that way. Men, if they're not taught by their mother or father at an early year, they will only perform on what they think they know, what they think is the right thing. It may work for a while, but yet being in a relationship with each other, you come to realize that you're not happy. You eat, sleep, go to the restroom, and have sex, and that's it. Life should be more than that. Life should be more your purpose here on this earth. So I went to the scripture, Bible verse. I'm a writer. I have 10 books promoting myself. You can go to HeStillSpeaksNowListen.org. You can go to my YouTube channel, The Hidden Tears of a Black Male, where I have written 10 books, one on sexual dating, produce ungodly consequences. Yes, when we engage in sexual relationship in the name of love, it will produce ungodly situation. So any relationship, married or unmarried, can be very messy. Yes, have you ever dated a woman and go to her house and look at the house and it's very messy inside? Or vice versa, you go to a man's house, it's very messy inside. The house that the person live in, if it's messy physically, they tell you right then and there, they're messy in their mind. If you see someone's car and it's very messy, and you go to their house, it's very messy. It's only that way because that's what they're thinking. That is how they are in their mind. So you can expect that you're gonna have a messy relationship. These are the telltale signs. You go to a woman's house or you go to a man's house and it's not well kept. You can be sure that their behavior and what they say and what they do going to be very messy in how they communicate to you. We need to wake up and be truthful and admit that we do have problems, we do have issues. And the only way it can change is to admit that we have a problem, seek out the right help, and change within the relationship to improve your marriage or improve any kind of relationship. True love does not dishonor. True love does not take a pen and write on the pad, well, today you didn't do this, so I'm not going to do that. Yes, I know we married, but until you do this, then I will do that. Oh, you must do this, and when I see you change, then I will do that. Oh, yes, I know I need to do this, but I'm not ready yet. I'm not ready to change. And then I thought about it a few minutes earlier today. If you meet an independent woman, mostly independent woman, some independent man, because a woman will tell you quick that she's an independent woman. When I hear a woman telling me that they're independent, I'm very leery of that woman because I know it can be a mess relationship. If a woman has been on her own for a lot of years doing what she's doing, very comfortable in what she does, and meet a man, you can really, if you're very sensitive, you can tell what kind of woman that is because she's going to be demanding, she's going to be strong-minded, she's going to be very whatever. And some may say, oh, yes, that's fine. I agree with that. She had to survive. She had to do this. She had to do that. But she's actually messy because she's destroying relationship. Because some women will not change because they are comfortable doing that. So they want the man to change for them, and they don't want to change because they just like that. A script down process must take place. A script down process of bringing the relationship in a proper order, a proper position. And it's going to get messy. You're going to get messy with profanity. You're going to be cussing out one another. You're going to degrade one another. You're going to be belittled one another. You're not going to be encouraged. You're not going to be supportive. It will all be about you. You're going to be self-centered in what you want and what you would not do. And if the man don't like it, you can say, get lost. I can find someone else, and I don't need you for that because you know what I know. I can get what I want. I don't have to get what I want. I don't have to feel sexual pleasure from a man because I can go and use my whatever you read between the lines. So messy relationships, I have been in messy relationship verbally. I won't say physically, but I can say verbally based on my part because some men can be knuckleheads when it comes to expressing themselves. Because I'm a man, I don't want to express myself in that manner. What is wrong with saying, baby and darling, is there anything else I can do for you? How was your day? How was your day? And this is what I can do for you. Be complimentary, compliment your spouse, share what happened today, share dreams, share your wants. You don't have to share your goals, but you can express yourself in a form of conversation. Your day should not be walk in the house, hey, how you doing? What's up? What's up? Yo, walk in the house, husband sitting down on the couch, just sitting there watching TV or playing some game. The wife walks in, tired, might be going through something, walks in the house. Act like you're married, but you're not married. You're married, but you're single. And you go about your day in the house. You walk around. The wife might take care of the kids, vice versa. And then you go to bed, take a shower, you have sex, and you get up in the morning, and that's relationship. That's basically what it's like. You don't have that me too time. Let us get together and have a date. Let us have a conversational moment in our lives to express, baby, I'm not happy in this relationship. Well, darling, why are not you? What is I'm doing wrong to contribute to this relationship? What do I need to do, men and women, to improve our relationship? Our relationship should not be based on just simply getting along to get along. It's cheaper to keep her. And staying in a mess relationship without seeking out counseling, just simply doing what's comfortable because you don't want to admit, where you were wrong. Think about the relationship. I can use me, for example. You date, your dating, my dating habit became like a revolving door. 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, and all in the name of, oh, I love that person. Our relationship, when we meet someone, should be, I like that person, not love. I like that person. I like how you make me feel. But I'm not going to put all my feelings into what you do for me because I know I must be happy within myself. I must make myself happy, not based on what you do, what you give me, what I expect from you, but I'm going to feel good about myself. We can have a mess relationship. I was in a particular Walmart, and I was doing something in the cashier counter, and we got to talking, and she told me I can share this with you all. And I was thinking about what you said, and she said, "Are you married?" I said, "No, I'm not married." I don't think she was hitting on me or anything. And we got to talking, and I said, "Are you married?" She said, "No, I'm not married." And she explained her relationship. She said, "I'm too young. I want to have all my fun before I get married." And I'm living together, have children. I can't remember how many children. And we got to talking, and she said to me, being married is a whole ball of wax. And I said, "What do you mean by that?" And the thought came to me, what she was telling me, when we get married, it has a whole set of rules. When you're single and shacking up and living together, you can quit in the relationship, walk away, and no strings attached. And that was her way of communicating her relationship with me, and I'm sure with other people. We as individuals, we can justify our condition, we can justify our doing whatever, but we're going to pay the consequences for our action. Not the other person going to pay it. We can't do nothing. No one can make us do anything. We choose to do the things we do. I choose to do what I did, and I suffer and I experience the consequences for my action. So I can look at back and say, I have been in a lot of mess relationship. One may say, "What do you mean by that?" If I was in a true relationship based on true love, I probably would have been married and still married today. Having revolving those relationships based on what love is, which is not having revolving door that I'm lonely, I don't want to be alone, I don't want to grow old, I don't want to feel this, I don't want to feel that. So I'm going to settle for whatever under conditions. It's not a good relationship. It's not going to last. It's only going to last for a little while. We need to begin to wake up from what we feel and what we are experiencing. So messy relationships. I'm coming from a position of not clothing, of course, and communication. I saw on my Facebook page, it said innocent boutique. Let us dress you. Innocent boutique, let us dress you. My quote for that was, we are not innocent. We choose to dress inappropriately. We choose to use profanity. We choose not to correct self. We choose not to improve our communication skills. And let me go back up before I go in. This website of this business said, let us dress you. Dress the innocent. I know back in the day, I excused a lot because I was selfish and want this and that. But in today's climate of teenagers, black and white, you can go into any woman clothing store, go to any woman garment section of underclothes and put on underwears and top and bras, and practically some females will walk out into the street like they walk out of the store. Some females will wear clothing, short pants, clothing that could be used as underwears. Short pants could be used by underwear, showing the cheeks. I call it the quarter test. My quarter test. You can have on a dress. If I throw a quarter down and you do not, and you bend down without when you bend down to get it without bending your knees, if I can see your underwear, something is wrong. Why do women wear clothing like that? I say to get attention. You are inviting lustful thoughts. You're inviting men to look at you. When you get married, there's nothing that he has not seen because how you dress. Women get mad when they get that attention in a wrong way. And, oh, baby, you sure look good in that. And they get mad. Why do women? Maybe brought up because the father's not home, they want attention. Could be many reasons why females dress like that. You don't have to dress like that because it causes you a problem in the long run. When you go to a job interview, you can't dress that way. Some people have gone to job interview dressed not to impress, just to seduce. Most women don't realize this, that when they go for a job interview, clients or prospective employer may do a Facebook search and see them on Facebook exposing their rear end, their bust, exotic positions. That tells a lot about the individual, so they don't get their job. So we need to be careful what you put out there on Facebook, because employers do background check by looking at it. And you can't say, well, that's my personal life, that's my personal page, and that's fine. But by doing it, you make it messy when you go out and get a job. So women will walk around in the street, go to any given mall, any given day, especially on the weekend, and you see sisters, black sisters, are not dressed to impress. They don't have nice long dresses on. It don't have to be above the knee or close to the knee. They are exposing their boobs, they're exposing their breasts. They are just exotically walking through the mall. They get the attention, the unwanted attention. They may allow their attention in and then regret the consequences for their action. So when I saw this website, I said, wow, let us dress you. Let us dress you to impress. Let us dress you so you still get that attention, but not in the wrong way. We need to wake up and say, I want to dress to impress, but I also must dress my communication skill. I must learn how to communicate when I'm job seeking, when I'm with my friends, with my peers. I must learn to not use ebonics. I'm not representing anyone. I'm representing me when I behave that way. And then you have the men who walk around exposing their rear end with their trousers below their waist, their trousers below their cheekbone, the trousers right below their buttocks. And I have asked a lot of guys, why do you dress that way? Oh, it's me, man. Do you know the history behind that? And a lot of them say, yes, the prison life. So if you, what you mean by the prison life? Oh, because I have worked in prison before, maximum security prison, and I've seen that in prison. It's a thing, if you are a male and you go on the other side of the fence, you're a male, but you're behaving like a female in prison, that is a sign that you are available, you're ready, or you belong to someone else. Why would you take on the same behavior, not being in prison or never been in prison, and walk down the street, and these men will have nice, attractive young ladies with them, walking, holding hand in hand, going into stores, out of stores, going on dates with their pants walking down below their waist? They're going to have a problem in life. What do you mean by that? You are breaking your natural rhythm of walking. When the man wears his pants below his waist, he's not walking his natural walking gait. He's walking side by side. He's not really moving as he's walking. He's walking like a statue, and he's trying to keep the trousers up. And then, if he has and live a life of crime, and the police officer running behind him, then he's going to trip up and fall down. He's going to be trying to hold his pants up, and he's running at the same time. So that is messy behavior. And then the woman walking with him, the thought should be, baby, could you pull up your pants? The only reason why she with him, because she's messy also. I hate to say it, but she's messy also. Why would a female, nice, attractive, whatever female, will walk with a man, accompany with a man, be out on a date with a man, going to a public restaurant, going to stores, walking with a man with his pants below his waist? You may not like what I'm saying, but it's the truth. Why a man, he's not dressed to impress. He's not dressed. He's dressing in a way that invite other men to look at him and say, I wonder if he was in prison. And the man may not. Had never been in prison. Why would you dress giving people the impression that it's cool? When has it been cool for a man to wear his pants below his bottom and walking down the street and say he's representing, and then when you tell him to pull up his pants, he get mad at you? That is not a natural. I say today to a young man, and he laughed. I said, you bet it won't be soon that you'll see men walking down the street wearing a dress because it's comfortable, it's easy to go to the bathroom, it's easy to have sex with my girl. I'm expressing myself. I'm an independent man. Women wear our clothing. Why I can't wear theirs? You may laugh, but it will be, do a Google search. Look at how many movie stars and singers and stuff have decided to play roles wearing a dress. And you say that's their job, whatever. But I know through history, research, back in the day when slave when there was slavery, black men would put on wear dress or papers, a sack, a sack. You cut the top out and you just flip on. You make arms for it to degrade them, to make them feminine, to punish them, to make it easy to whip them, to flip them over, to spank them. It was a tool used by the slave master in the day to punish black men. They didn't wear clothes, they did not wear. Do your homework. So when we are walking, when men are walking around, learn your history. You may know what it's about, but why are you doing it? Is it cool? I'm with the masses. It's cool. I'm representing. And yet you go to a job, and yet you could be interviewed, and time you walk to the door, they just give you a casual interview, and you don't even have the job, or even how you dress and where you're here, or the gold and the bling around your neck. We can have messy relationships, and messy relationships on jobs interview, jobs dating. We need to come as a race of people, need to represent self by coming back to standards and saying, I'm going to dress appropriately. I'm not going to be one of the boys out on the street or one of the females on the street. And yes, I've seen females who have wear their pants below their waist. And yes, we know females date women, and you can tell the man and the woman in a relationship, that's their choice. I'm not saying I'm judging them. I'm just pointing out, you can tell who's a man, who's a woman when it comes to a female relationship. And it's really, really a lot of things that we as black men and women are seeing today, back in the day, 20 or 30 years ago, was not even tolerated or mentioned. It was shunned against. And yet we have the voices that say they speak for us, but they do really speak. Say the American people want, or the black people want this, the black people want that. Oh, really? Talk to me. Talk to someone who think like me. When I go out in the street, I have compassion when I see our young men and black women out there in the street belittling themselves, dressing inappropriately, men wearing pants, us men, women behaving, talking, speaking Ebonics when they shouldn't be speaking Ebonics. Think everything is cool, that I don't have to change, and yet when they don't get ahead in life, they someone else. We need to wake up, just like this website, this store is saying, let us dress you. Let us dress you. Let us dress you in an innocent manner. So this topic is, let me dress you in the way you communicate with other people. Let me dress you in how you carry yourself. And then it will help when you have when you center on self and begin to work on self, then self will be proud to know that I'm good. I don't need someone to define me. I don't need this person, that person to make me feel good that day, because I make myself feel good by what I'm thinking. Yes, I'm going to lose friends. Yes, I'm going to lose family members that don't want to like me because of the things I say and the things I do. But I will refuse to continue to be in a messy relationship with self, in a messy relationship with other people. And because of that, I had experienced the result of my messy behavior. If you are going through a cycle of dating, you are going through a cycle of messy behaviors. If you have problems in your marriage, you are going through a problem of messy relationship and messy whatever, because when people are married, they are prideful that they don't want help because they don't want the person to know that they have an issue, they have a problem in their relationship. So they stay behind the closet door, pretending everything's okay, and yet they go home and the woman is throwing pots and pans and fighting and beating up the man, and the man not saying nothing, or vice versa. And then someone goes to jail and they lose their job, and they say, oh, it's your fault, my fault. No, it's both person's fault. We choose not to improve self. We choose not to improve communication skill. We always saying it's somebody else's fault. We need to take charge of self. Self-defeating behaviors. I'm no good. I'm black. I'm white. Single family parent. I didn't have a father when I grew up. My mother abandoned me. My father left me. I don't even know who my father is. So I'm just winging it. I'm a school dropout. I don't want to go back to school. I'm too old. Self-defeating thoughts that we say in ourselves is another form of messy behavior. Messy behavior that's causing you not to even go do anything with your life. So you're just existing to exist. You eat, sleep, go to the bathroom, have sex with someone, and and go to work, and that's it. Messy relationship, messy behavior. And then you live a life of crime for whatever reason. You can say that the system is against you. You may be right in some manner, but the system is not against you when you yourself have allowed the system to be against you. You must take, like I said, I mentioned, talk to people, individuals when I was in prison. I addressed them as sir and ma'am when I used to work in the jail. When they come in and they'll look at me when I say sir, and so you must was in the military. I say by giving someone respect as saying sir, regardless if they're in prison, out of this thing, goes a long way. Very rarely you hear sir. Very rarely you hear yes ma'am. Yo, what's up? What it be like? Yeah, I know, that kind of talk. And it's accepted, but it's not normal. When you begin to when you start behaving in a manner that's normal, other people may shy away from you or think you're strange or say you acting white or whatever that means. What are you avoiding? What are you all avoiding? Are you avoiding to change? Are you avoiding to change? Not to change. Most of the time, people are afraid to ask for help. That is the reason, because of pride. We can be insulting in a relationship. We cannot be supportive, not encouraging. It got to be done my way or the highway. We dress, men and women, like I mentioned, lustful, not dressed to impress, not dressed to conceal our body parts. You can do any social media site and you see black females, when they take a picture, they got the hand on the hip, showing their rear end. Some even have gone to wear underwear and show the twerking position or whatever. But I know from history and research, I think on the TV show, I think on BET, they show a show, I don't know if it's on now, they're showing a show where black females have injected so much stuff in their rear end, it caused them mental and physical problems. If you do your homework, men, women, do silicone, fix-a-flat, vegetable oil, glue, all kinds of things to increase their buttocks because of peer pressure, because it makes them look good, because whatever. And I think men are responsible when we look at women and look at their rear end to define that's my girl because she's got junk in her trunk. And then women feel I have an ironing board rear end, so they go out and do exercise or get these injections because they want to fit in. They want that man attention. A man should want that woman attention based on her character and morals belief, not what she looked like, what she looked like in the mirror, what she looked like naked. A man should want that woman based on what she's producing from her mouth, what she's saying. Is she's encouraging? Is she supportive? Is that relationship coming together with both parties working on each other to better their relationship? It should not be she has an ironing board rear end opposed to junk in the trunk basketball rear end. Our relationships, we as men should not look at women and say that they must have these things for me to date them. If they don't have those things, then women unknowingly feel not wanted, not attractive enough. So she dressed to impress strangers in the street. She dressed to impress attention, get phone numbers, to decide how he makes me feel. The relationship should not be on how he makes you feel. It should be based on what is the right thing to do, how should I respond in a relationship, not what is in it for me. But it comes with that pride thing. As I mentioned, love is not based on sex. Its sex foundation is not love. An independent woman say, I don't need to change. You have to change because I don't really need you for anything. Look at my house. Look at my car. Look at my job. I have to provide this for myself without a man. But yet she's lacking in an area that she's lonely and she wants a man. So she settled for a man because she don't want to grow old and die old. And in doing that, she may meet a pervert. She may meet a violent person that meet a person that's almost similar to her, and the only reason they're together because they don't want to be alone. That is wrong to be in a relationship. Women can be vindictive. Women can be vindictive against other women. And you are engaging in a conversation with your spouse or your loved one, are you a distractor? When they come to you and say, you do, and I don't even talk about it. I don't even want to hear that. I don't even want to go through that. Just leave me alone. We talk about this. It don't get anywhere. Just leave me alone. I don't even discuss it. And the man or woman walks away. Are you blaming him or her for your behavior? We are responsible for what we do, not the other individual. We should not be distractors by saying, I don't want to discuss this problem anymore because it has not worked out. It's not getting us anywhere. So let's just agree to disagree. To agree to disagree may sound good. It may work for a while, but what it is telling each other, both persons are walking off thinking they was right. We should agree to disagree by simply saying, I'm wrong in what I did and what I had done and what I'm doing right now. I need to change my behavior. I see your point, darling. Where are you coming from? I never looked at it that way, but I need to work on my behavior. We don't want, I'm speaking of me too in the past, we don't want to work on a relationship within the relationship to better relationship for each other. So what do? We get rid of him and her and get someone else because we refuse to change. We go from one mess relationship to another mess relationship and to another. It's like going through a revolving door of relationships only for someone to come in front of that door and put a stop to it. Let this message be a stop to our messy behavior in any area. If you hear yourself, see yourself, recognize yourself in what you're hearing, then you need to say, wow, I didn't know I was that messed up. It's not the other person, it's me. I mess up in my mind. I mess up in my thoughts. I mess up in my behavior. I mess up in how I communicate with each other. My car is messy. My house is messy. I'm messy in my mind. I refuse to go to school. I refuse to go back and get a GED. I'm messy in every area because I'm blaming other people for my lack of doing, my lack of achieving. It's us. You and I are the messed up one. If you really love me, prove it to me, baby. If you really love me, prove your love. Buy me things. Treat me a certain way. If you really love me, do these things for me. So that man or woman must give up what they believe in, true moral character, just to get along. You should not be in a relationship to get along because you want to have sex. You should not be in a relationship because he makes you feel good. He look fine. She look fine. She got a junk in her trunk. I don't want to deal with no one who has an ironing board. Bring in. I want someone that when I walk out there, wow, they can say, oh, she's fine. He's fine. Our relationship should not be, because we're going to get older. And you have the older men, don't let me leave them out, are dressed with the gold earrings, or the bling in their mouth, or they too are wearing pants below their waist just to get along. They buy cars to make themselves feel young, giving that perception that they're hip and they're with it. They even divorced their wife of 60 years for young abroad because he makes them feel good in the bed, because the wife of 60 years don't want to do illicit sex and oral sex and whatever, so they go to a younger woman that will do it, and they leave their wife and they find themselves out there divorced after 60, 40, 30, 40, 22 years of marriage because they left their emotions, their head, not on the top of their head, caused them to leave their wife for many years because of a young person to make them feel good. Younger women, older women and older men do the same thing. No one is exempt from a messy relationship within themselves, a messy behavior. No one is exempt from it. I say, let me see. And then I mentioned this, a mess relationship where you have the married man who's an undercover down low brother who are engaged in a sexual relationship with a man because he thinks he's not committing adultery and cannot do anything wrong. Many years ago, that was a big thing about people, down low brothers, especially among black men who call themselves down low brother, will have sex with a woman, a man, and then go back to their wife, or vice versa, or even women with women and then go back to the husband. All this is messy. All of this is messy. You may know people, you may have family members, you may have whatever. Insulting. All this is very messy. Putting down your spouse, not encouraging. You don't like it, leave. I don't care. I don't want to deal with it. What verbal trigger? What can someone say to you in your relationship that will trigger you, an instant response? If they point their finger at you, will that make you go in a different mindset? If they use profanity, what triggers that someone can say or do to you that make you go messy? You want to fight them, you want to be revengeful. Female. So you need to ask yourself, who, what, when, why, and where, and how, as it pertains to your messy situation, messy relationship, because of him, because of her, I'm going to behave this way. We are really messed up individuals. We may don't want to admit it, but we are messy within our minds. We are messy in our communication. We are messy in our behaviors. We are messy in our thoughts. We must reel in that messiness and begin to function as an individual, not basing our feelings, our behavior, what we say, what we do on someone else, because no one can make us do anything. You who are listening and will listen to this message, I can't make you do anything. Why do I do what I do? Because I feel that the time has come. I wish I had heard a lot of this stuff that I have posted on Facebook that will help my life, have helped me in my early years. So I'm sharing from my experience. Did I know this back in the day? I may have known it and ignore it. I may didn't care about it because I was self-centered and wanting to do what I want to do, pleasing my sexual desire. We as individuals must begin to realize that we have two choices: to continue down the path of messy relationships with self, with God as you know him, with your husband, with your spouse, with even children can have messy relationship with their parents. Parents don't know how to discuss we call it the birds and the bees. Children has become the parent, and the parent has become the child because they want to get along. If you are married and you have children and you have an older teenager under 18 living in your house, and your child has decided that they're going to date whomever, and they are dating like a revolving door, and you have not talked with them about their behavior because you are afraid to offend them, that is a messy family relationship. So messy can flow down from men, women, jobs, employers, friends, family, strangers, and even children. No one is exempt from messy behavior. Messy behavior. So it's my hope that I cause you to think, to evaluate yourself, to recognize that, wow, you are a messed up individual and you need to get help. Whether you go to someone you trust or even a stranger that will listen and give you good advice. Yes, when you come out of the messy potato sack of life, you're going to lose friends and family members. Well, what is worth it? What is worth it? To dress inappropriately, to behave inappropriately, to communicate in a way that's not appropriate. It may last for a while, but it's going to cause you a problem. Think about how many people you have dated from the time, I'm going to pick 18, that you say you love that person loved you, and you're not together. It was not love. It's emotions based on sex. Emotions based on sex. When last have you had a relationship before you got married? Was it sexual or non-sexual? We as individuals must wake up from all forms of messiness in our lives. Messiness in our lives. If you like what you have heard and you want other people to hear what you heard, share this with your friends and family members. Let them see, let them hear, what you heard, so they can have a choice to benefit, to choose. If we really honest with ourselves if we are in a relationship right now that's not going the way it ought to go, and we're settling for that relationship because we don't want to be alone, or we settling because they make me feel good and I enjoy sex and the hug and attention, we have a problem. It's not going to last for a while. It may last months, weeks, and years. And you know, and I know people that have been living together, not married, because they say it's just a piece of paper. But I know we're going to suffer consequences before our action. Whatever the consequences may fall on us, we're going to experience the consequences of doing the things we need to do. Don't hate the messenger, hate who sinned. When we hate the messenger, we say we hate the messenger, we don't like the message. But it's what's behind the messenger. I can say, God sent me to say this. You may hate me, but you hate the message that he sent to me. So think again. Think hard. If you are on the sound of my voice and you're hearing this message, maybe you need to consider your messy behavior, not him or her, where you playing a part to contribute to this relationship. You meet a man or a woman for the first time, you talk, you go out on dates, you share your belief and unbelief. You share what you're going to do and not going to do. You want to be that man, you want to be that woman, but you must compromise. You must kiss him, you must have sex, you must do whatever to make him or her feel happy. If that is not your true self, then why submit to that? When you submit to that, you agree to leave what you've been brought up on just to be involved with him or her for the sake of, I don't want to be alone, I don't want to experience this, I want to experience sex, and whatever the case may be. Sexual relationship, we can't say that I have true love, because true love does not count the wrongs, does not make excuses, does not justify behavior, does not blame, does not accuse, does not find fault, does not keep a report card, does not grade me, does not belittle me, does not beat up on me physically and verbally, does not refuse to discuss what we're going through, does not refuse to sit down and evaluate self, does not set a point in time, set aside a place in time to engage in a conversation between your spouse to say, are you happy? Are you happy with me? What are you not happy about? How do you think I should approve it? I see where you're coming from. Oh, I didn't know that offend you. I didn't know that did not encourage you. Oh, why you didn't speak up? Why you let it go so long without sharing how you feel? These are the things that we need to think about. When we are in a relationship with employer, job, family, kids, strangers, extended family members, all of us, if we are very truthful with self, we can say right now, we are living and experiencing some form of messiness in our relationships with what I just mentioned. Thank you all. Share my link if you have a question, have a comment, and you want me to talk about specific subject, or you just want to share. I won't use your name if you want me to talk about it. Like the young lady told me, I can share her stories, which I can, and I listened to her. I did not judge her. I didn't say, no, you shouldn't be living with a man because you're not married. You know, you're having kids from this man, or you know you're living a wrong lifestyle. I didn't even say nothing. I just listened to what she said. And that's how, and I told her I'm a writer, I do Facebook stuff. She said, you have my permission to share this. And I walk off into the sunset. So sometimes it's not all the time that we need to say anything to that person. They may just give me information. She gave me information to this message that she did not know that I'd be talking about. So it's not always in our best interest to tell a person what they should do, because it might not be us. It may be someone else that would tell the person what he or she need to do. So thank you again. Look at self and recognize that you are messy in one way, shape, form, or another. Not a put down, not a condemnation, just simply admitting that you are very messy in a lot of areas and you need to change. And before I can date someone, I have to get self in order. Because if I don't get self in order, then I can be taken by any man, he or she, that comes into my life, because I'm very vulnerable at this moment. And when we become vulnerable in relationships, in areas where we are weak, we can easily be seduced into going along to get along, and we simply accept whatever it is out there. If we hold fast to what we want, it'll eventually come. It may take months, it may take years, it may take weeks, it may take whatever time it takes to improve on self. But self must recognize that, you know what? I'm messy. You go to the doctor, office, and I close by saying this. What if there was a messy clinic? And in this clinic was everything that we have done from A to Z. You go to the fornication, the adultery, the incest, or child pornography, or alcohol, or illicit drug, transvestite, or whatever you can think of in those alphabet. And you go there with a problem. You know the building, you know what it's there for. You go there and you tell the doctor or the nurse that you know what's wrong with you, but you went to the place to get help, and you telling them how to help you. We should walk into our own mental hospital of messiness, or whatever you, from A to Z, think of something you doing or had done from A to Z. You have your own mindset, your own mental hospital from A to Z. You walk in and admit, no, I'm an alcoholic. I'm living a life of crime. I'm into this, I'm into that. Tell me what I must do, because I don't like to live this way anymore. And the prescription is written for you. And it's signed in the same way. The scriptures say truth. Accept the truth that you are messy. And this is what you must do. Do it 3 times a day for 30 days. When you feel that you need a refill, come back to me and I will write another prescription, another truth that you must take and swallow, that you need this truth. And when you swallow it, it's gonna taste nasty. You may not like what you swallow. It may cause you to vomit. It may cause you to say, oh, I can't handle this. So you get the latter version of the truth. That I'll leave you with. Seek help for your messiness. If I can be helpful in the things I shared, just look at the previous Facebook posting. Go to YouTube channel, He Still Speaks Now Listen. You see interesting things there. Go to He Still Speaks Now Listen.org. You see interesting things there. My books, He Still Speaks Now Listen, The Hidden Tears of Black Male, Teach Me How to Pray, Thug Woman, He Still Speaks Now Listen to Complication, Prayer, Black Lives Matter from Eyes of Caught, Black Lives Matter, You Need to Deliver, Escape from the Plantation. Those are some of the books I have written. If you'd like to purchase one, just email it to me. We'll send it to you. Post is free. $10 discount on any of my books. You can go to Amazon.com. You can order it, or you can get a personalized copy from me. Just go to Amazon.com and type in The Hidden Tears of Black Male, or you can go to CreateSpace.com and order the books. But you can order it from me, and like I said, I'll email it to you, and you can learn. I promise you, you will see something about your life in it. So until, God willing, we meet again, I trust that you enjoy what you heard, and you believe what you heard. You saw yourself in what you heard, and you're saying, Anthony, I have decided to check myself in to my own mental hospital, because I'm not ready for anyone. I'm going to put myself in my own mental padded cell of thoughts that will keep me grounded, keep me in that enclosure. When someone trying to get into my padded cell to seduce me to do what I shouldn't be doing, then I know that they're not good for me. So I have put myself in my own mental hospital of self, because before I'm ready for anybody else in any areas of my relationship, I'm going to deal with self. I'm not going to subject myself to wearing my pants below my waist, men's. I'm not going to subject myself, women, to dress inappropriately in public. I'm not going to wear what I would not normally wear out in public, showing everything, every intimate curves of my body in the mall, in the shopping center, and distance country. I'm not going to dress in a messy behavior, going to church, sitting there. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to put pictures on Facebook or any social media site where it belittle me and reveal stuff that only my future husband should see. I'm not going to allow my children to do things that my parents will not allow me to do. I'm not going to allow my children to do things to get along, I'm going to put everything in a proper place, proper order. And I'm going to resist the seduction to do so. I'm not going to get along to get along. As the business person say, let me dress you. This message is let me dress you and how you should behave, what you should do. Go through the messiness. Your laundry room, go there and throw out all the clothes. You go through all the clothes, color, light, whatever, and put them in a separate bin to wash them at a specific time. You can't mix them together. That is a good analogy. Messy behavior. We all have laundry bins in our house, in our places where we stay. Every piece of garment in that laundry basket or even in the corner of the closet represent a behavior. You just don't see it. So wake up. My prescription that I'm writing for you today in your messy behavior is the truth. Accept it, apply it to your life, and begin to fold up, throw away, discard those messy behaviors within the relationship. I thank everyone who have joined me. Welcome and thank you for joining me. If you came in late, I trust that you listened to this, not because I want you to get thousands and thousands of likes. If I get them, if they go viral, so be it. But if I touch one individual, one person, I have done my job. I have done what I'm supposed to do on this particular day. If it had not been me, and I heard what I just heard, I would say, wow, Anthony, you are messy. You had been messy. You still behaving messy. What are you going to do about it? And as I listen to what has been said, it should cause me to take the messy prescription that I don't want to swallow. It's like swallowing castor oil. Think about it. Thank you. Again, share. Any question, any comment, you can post them. So what if you agree with me and you post that you agree with me and your friends read it? They will know that you think differently. When we begin to express how we feel about any given situation, it can touch other people's lives. When I expose myself and share my experience and what I have done, it wasn't easy for me to do so. That's what the book, the last one I've written, The Hidden Tears of a Black Male. If you see a man crying, you know he has a problem. But what are the hidden tears? Hidden behaviors. His behaviors and what he's doing. When a man is walking down the street with his pants below his waist, he's crying out for answers and truth. Tears, crying and showing tears is not the only way a person cries. Women and men are crying right now as I'm speaking. They're crying by their non-responsiveness and how they're responding. They're crying because of the messy situation they have gotten themselves into and they don't know how. But you do know how if you accept the truth that you put yourself in that messy situation. And sometimes getting out of that messy situation is going to be painful, going to be hurtful. But so you settle to remain in that messy situation. It don't have to be a situation with somebody else. It don't have to be a situation within the marriage. It can be a situation within self that need to be dealt with. So thank you. God willing, next Sunday, I have another episode or whatever I'm led to share.